Hello and welcome to my very first vlog. As you can see, I'm in the car, and as you can hear, probably, I've got my daughter in the back. She's sleeping and snoring. And for some reason I thought this might be the perfect time, the perfect moment to start this vlog, this little experiment. And yeah, it's kind of daily life. It's what's actually real for me. And over the next few days, I would just love to pick up the camera whenever I feel there's something here that I want to share. I probably won't necessarily share like kind of everything I do during my day, but I do want to share things that are currently alive and that I'm currently processing and looking at, specifically in regards to motherhood and also building heart-centered businesses. So yeah, just a hello from the car today. I think I've already mentioned that it's Wednesday, but it's Wednesday today, and Wednesday is the day that I'm with my daughter. So every Wednesday I'm with her. This is how the system here works in France. So so there's usually no childcare on Wednesdays, and it's a peculiar system because it's not the system I grew up with. So it feels peculiar to me, but to everyone here, it's totally normal. And it's really, to be honest, I love it because it breaks up the week in a way that I get to firstly get to spend more time with my daughter, and secondly, it breaks up the week really beautifully. Okay, just got interrupted there by a phone alarm. So I want to go back to the format of vlogging, or of this sort of picking up the camera and seeing what's there and capturing that. So this is different to the video I've done 2 weeks ago. By the time you see this, it's probably going to be 2 weeks ago. Because there I had a specific topic, and I introduced sort of the channel more in my point of view, my thinking. Whereas this is, or at least how I imagine it, it'll be way more free flow, and I think it will still probably have some sort of theme, some sort of red thread, because I really feel like it should have value, or the vlogs I love watching are the ones that touch me in a way that I walk away from, and it's not just pure entertainment, it's more than that. Yeah, and I want to, I guess maybe I just want to see turn it into my own thing, and add my style on top. And maybe I call it a vlog, but it isn't really a vlog, because I don't think I want to share my sort of what I do every like throughout the day and gonna take you along. I think I'm way too I don't enjoy filming like all these different parts of my life. I much rather I like talking to the camera, and for me that comes easily, and it feels natural, whereas picking up the camera and filming sort of parts of my day probably feels less natural, and it comes to me less easily. So I don't think I'll include much of that, sort of this B-roll and what I do. It's probably going to be more me talking to the camera like this, but in a way less in a way less formal and a way less structured way than it was in my first video, or the video 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's an experiment, and I may really dislike it. Kind of when I'm saying this right now, when I'm talking to the camera here right now, I'm noticing I enjoy it, and yet there's a little bit of pressure of like, oh, getting it right and making it work, having figured it out, what it should be, what it needs to be, what will land. But I just think I can't know it. And I had this conversation yesterday. I'm in a little mastermind, which is super beautiful. Just we're just a group of 3, and we talked about my intention of doing videos, and so there's a format I've chosen, and so this sort of vlog style. And I talked about my confusion of the different topics I want to talk about, the way I want to structure it. And interestingly, it didn't feel very confusing. If anything, it felt like I wanted to have the answer before I've actually started. Like I wanted to know, or I wanted to be sure that this format is going to work before I've even tried. So here is me trying, and here's me figuring out if I even like this, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello and happy Thursday. So I don't know if you can see, but no, you can't. It's snowing right now. It has been snowing for a little while now. So when we woke up this morning, everything was white, and it's all melted, but then it's snowing again now. Really beautiful. So yesterday I spoke to you from the car. Today I'm here at home, just about to make lunch, and I felt drawn again to sit down and talk to you a little bit about where I'm at right now, where I'm at in my journey, and that might be quite useful for you to know, and I guess just for a bit of context, really. And I guess it's going to be rather brief, so let's see. Maybe not. So I'm a mother of 1. I've got a girl, and she's almost 2 years old, which is crazy. Becoming a mother to her has been an incredible journey, and it's been very joyous and extremely beautiful, and filled with so much love for life, and for her, of course, for me, for my partner. Man, it's also been incredibly hard. And a lot on this channel is going to be about that journey of becoming a mother, what it's done to me, what it helped me see, what it continuously helping me to see and experience. So yeah, more on that very soon. As well as that, I've been running my own business or let's put it this way, I've been self-employed since the summer of 2017. So that's almost 9 years. And I've been doing lots of things since then. I've been running a few businesses that have either failed or we closed them down because we were way too early to the market. Often been doing projects with other people. I 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago now, I've set up an online co-working space called The Cabin. Probably going to be a few more details under this video about it. It's been, and it is, an incredible space. I've definitely slowed down with it. I'm only running like twice a month, or sometimes only monthly, co-working little immersions on Friday. One is actually tomorrow, so I'm going to take you along. And so that's been part of my life. So it's a mindful co-working space, very different to sort of traditional co-working, online co-working spaces. Yeah, check it out. It's beautiful. Of course, I'm biased, but it really is. And then I've been doing a lot of consulting work, contracting work, and that is, I guess that is my sort of the consulting arm, or the more operational side of my business is that, and that's what it's kind of become. It's a bit of coaching in there too, but mainly operational, mainly consulting around restructuring businesses, supporting businesses on their journey, usually very small business or mid-sized business. Right now I'm part of a collective, and I have been almost for 5 years now as well. And in this collective, there are a number of businesses, some number of project businesses. Some are really small, and there's a mid-sized company part of this collective too, and that is currently going through so much change. And so my contracting consulting work is taking up a lot of space, more space than I thought I want to give it. But I think in this process, I'm also finding out the things I really love doing. And so I don't mind right now that it takes up so much space. And then I'm also having that little calling right now that I want to work with mothers, and that is starting up. And I'm part of a little mastermind that's supporting me through this journey, and that feels really meaningful, and it helps me to really commit time to it. The cabin as well helps me to commit time to it, because I get that co-working space, or that sort of focused space that I really commit to building this mother support side of my business. So yeah, I guess in a nutshell, that's currently my world. I work 4 days a week. And I say that right now, and it's probably not true, because I also, my work currently bleeds into my evenings. It bleeds into the Wednesday that I spend with my daughter. So often when she's asleep, I answer emails, and sometimes it even bleeds into the weekend. And you know what? At times that's okay. And right now it's a time where that is okay. And there are other times, and there were other times, and there were and are other times when it's not like that, and it's super chill, and I have a lot more time and space. And interestingly as well, it seems to, how this is currently evolving, it seems to totally evolve with my daughter becoming older. I couldn't have done any of what I'm doing right now less than a year ago. I mean, maybe a year ago I could have done it, because my partner was on paternity leave and I had actually way more time. But a year ago, when she just turned 1 and she started daycare for a few days a week, I couldn't have done any of this. I didn't have the capacity. And I think that's really valuable to notice, that I guess opportunities come our way, and we take them because we have the capacity, and sometimes we can't take them because we don't have the capacity. And I think for me, that was totally a journey, because sometimes I felt like there was a lot of drive in me to take on multiple projects. Always ever has been that way. And but I think sometimes I felt really frustrated when I couldn't honor that, because of the season of motherhood that I was in. And that was just really interesting, because this part of me that wanted to engage in lots of projects, but the part of me that wants to be there for my daughter, and knows being with my daughter is the most important thing that of that period. But yeah, these two parts clashed, and now I realize that it's just a season, and it will change again. So that part of me that's just, loves work a lot and loves to be engaged in lots of things, that used to be super active, on also maybe that piece of identity of me that had to soften a lot and had to learn to be with this new season. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's currently what I'm doing, what I'm engaged in. I'm also actually started some two things in real life, in person. So I'm in France, and we've moved here about 4 years ago. And I didn't really have any community, and also when my daughter was still so young, I didn't really engage with anyone. And then we also moved from a sort of town to a small village, and again, it's only 30 minutes down the road, but my community vanished. The little community that I had vanished, and so I'm now engaging with lots of people. And we set up like a kind of a circle of women for sacred gatherings, for kind of women's circles, red tens, those are the ones I'm leading, and also authentic relating, and other things that people may want to offer as we're growing. And it's a little movement. We've got about 25 women engaged in that. And it really warms my heart, because it brings back that community element that I haven't had at all. So that's what I'm also engaged in here in real life, in this physical realm. And at the same time, there is also a little group of practitioners starting to form. That's rather slow, but it's also happening. So we are supporting each other here, mainly women who are English speaking and are also working with other English speakers. I guess some of them are also working with French speakers. But it feels really, really, really nourishing and really valuable to have a space with other practitioners that are here, probably facing similar issues around language and around how are we doing things here, if we're not primarily targeting French speakers. So I think this is interesting, because also my bridge is, I almost exclusively now work within the online space, and maybe then that will help to create a bridge into maybe more in real life and in-person events and work. So yeah, that's really interesting. And again, a capacity thing. I wouldn't have had the capacity a year ago, even 6 months ago. That wouldn't have been the case. So yeah, that's where I am at right now, and I see you soon. Hello, welcome back to the final session. Wow. So before we start, we'll do some movement again, and then have another meditation before we start the final session. So here again, I invite you to close your eyes, to just drop in again. Yeah, also maybe connect to your intention again that you set for the day. How did you want to feel as you're working today? And then from here, let's just stretch our arms up high again towards the ceiling. And take your head with you. Look towards the ceiling. And then gently lower your arms. Let your arms rest in your lap. And lower your head towards your chest. Hi, so I just finished my morning at the cabin. the mindful co-working space that I run. It's called a Cabin Intensive, and I do that twice a month. And today, well, every time at the end of the sessions, we reflect on what it was like and if there's anything we're taking away from it. And then one of the participants, she mentioned how she's been coming to the Cabin Intensive quite a lot, and over the last, well, probably almost a year, she's sort of been experiencing this procrastination, or something that she's labeled as procrastination. And one of the other procrastinations around her project or around her business. And one of the other participants mentioned how procrastination is often this sort of negative, we judge ourselves, or it's this kind of comes with all these feelings of judging ourselves and saying we're just not, we're probably not efficient enough, or we are not moving things forward quickly enough. And then she offered, why don't we label it differently? So rather than procrastination, what about percolation? So we're just percolating something. And so it's like putting something on the stove and it cooks slowly and it bubbles, but we don't need to have the answer right away. So, and we were all resonating a lot with this, because sometimes it needs, and this is for my experience, I often need a procrastination to decide if it's worth doing something, or often my procrastination has helped me to resolve something without my input. And I also see that as quite useful. And yeah, and often it helped me, that's sort of the prolonged time to think about something, days, sometimes weeks, or even months, to really realize, is it something that I want to do, or is it something that I don't want to do? And then decide to move in a totally different direction. So yeah, just a little reminder here, how we are, the way we use language, and the way we use, the way we label a feeling, or kind of, a feeling. And procrastination is a very, very good example for that. So I'm about to edit this video, but I want to come on here again to properly close last week's vlog, video montage, whatever you may want to call this. I would love to know if you enjoyed this format, this more sort of informal, casual sit down during different times of the week, where I share whatever is alive. And I also still need to figure out for myself if this is a format that I really enjoy. So yeah, do let me know. And I am already really looking forward to seeing you in the next video, which is probably going to come out in 2 weeks' time, or that's the intention. So until then, be well and see you soon.